Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back today with another YouTube video. And in today's video we're gonna be doing let's talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. So yeah, I just finished watching it. I actually should have posted a trailer reaction video where I actually live reacted to the trailer relatively before this video. This video is in no rush to come out. But I wanted just to talk about what I thought of the trailer and kind of go into depth of what we saw and stuff like that. Some key things to kind of remember. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to do that. That kind of like I wanted to do a little bit. It's not. This is not exactly like an Easter egg video. It's more so just let's point out the references. Let's point out key details, basically. Um, yeah, there's a lot to unpack. This trailer was pretty good for the most part. I really enjoyed all of it. I mean, it showed a lot of things, I gotta say, and I can't even lie. This is probably one of my most anticipated movies ever. I mean, other than probably Infinity War and Endgame, like this is just giving me those vibes. I remember back in was it 2018 and 2019 when those movies are coming out. I remember it just was so fun. I just can't wait to see like how this movie does and stuff like that in terms of like going to the movie theaters and stuff like that. That's one thing that's really cool. But I see a lot of hype surrounding this movie, and I can't even lie. It looks like it's gonna be awesome. Of course, we're getting our first technical iteration of the Sinister Six, which is pretty cool. It's technically combining fans of all Spider-Man basically, because you're getting stuff from Andrew's movies, you're getting stuff from Tobey Maguire's movies, and Tom Holland's movies as well. Uh, and yeah, like you're getting, for example, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and other characters. So it's really cool to kind of see that happen. Uh, yeah, I guess let's just get straight into it. I guess. So first of all, we got our first looks at Sandman, Electro, and the Lizard. All three were teased in the first trailer. Also Green Goblin, technically, even though he was pretty much confirmed in that first teaser because of the Goblin bomb. Just well, with me personally, I wasn't sure if it was Willem Dafoe's or not, but it's Willem Dafoe, so that's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, and we pretty much got confirmed of what they look like. First of all, like the lizard pretty much looks the same. Electro is looks to be upgraded, which is really cool, and more comic accurate, which is really cool. I gotta say, like that much better. Uh, I'm Sandman wise, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with him. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be like Sandman from the Spider-Man 3 movies. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The same guy plays him. I just can't remember his name right now, the actor's name. And then, of course, we got Willem Dafoe. He's actually back to play Green Goblin, which is actually really cool. I wasn't expecting him to come back, to be honest with you guys, but I mean, it's really interesting to kind of see that happen. I'm curious to see what goes on with that. And then, of course, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, which is interesting as well. So that leaves about 5 spots available right there. I mean, 5 spots taken, essentially. So there's one last member we have yet to kind of know. Now, there's a few different possibilities of who that could be. Now, I'm going to say this a bit quick just because I don't want to talk about this too much. But, I mean, it could either be Vulture, even though I highly kind of doubt that. For some reason, Mysterio maybe. A completely new villain that we've never seen before, or maybe even Rhino. Though, or in a strange case, Venom. But I don't think it's gonna be Venom. So yeah, I would say it's more or so one of those three I just mentioned: Rhino, Mysterio, or Vulture or something. Uh, so that's pretty interesting to kind of see that we're getting like a full-on multiverse now, which is always interesting because I find the multiverse is one of the most interesting things in comics, to say the least. I think it's definitely a really interesting and underrated concept, is the multiverse. Now, I really like how they're now gonna bring in more of the multiverse with this movie. That looks like it's gonna be a real big factor. You could see a lot of that from the trailer, especially with Doctor Strange. I'm not too sure what his role is in the movie though. That's one thing. I don't know if he's supposed to be playing some sort of Tony Stark role or something like how Tony Stark played in Homecoming or something like that. But I mean, I'm genuinely curious just because it looks like he's in a lot. He's a lot in the trailer, a lot more than you would expect. But I'm fully well expecting probably Spider-Man to be trying to fight the Sinister Six by himself or something like that, and then he'll need help. I fully will expect he'll need help in some way, whether that be Doctor Strange, whether that be the other two Spider-Man, whether that be Daredevil, whatever. He'll need help. I have a feeling. Uh, so that's one thing. We also saw a lot of parallels as well, which was actually really interesting to the other movies. I think it pays a lot of homage to the other movies, as well as I think they're purposely trying to probably hint at them too, which is important to note as well. With the whole two Spider-Man things. First of all, uh, the first hint we kind of got was, of course, that whole Doc Ock literally grabbing Peter like that. That's like ripped straight out of Spider-Man 2. And plus, there probably might be more parallels once we actually see the movie as well. Uh, as again, like there's the parallel, of course, with him holding his face like that. And something else important to note as well is that we saw is Doc Ock literally say, "You're not Peter," because if you realize Tom Holland is not his Peter or the one he knows, because if you remember back in Spider-Man 2, he actually knew who Spider-Man was Peter Parker, or sorry, Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but at the time it was Tobey Maguire. So that's important to note as well. I'm curious to see how that could play a part because like if he thinks that way, like what the hell has Tom Holland done to him? Like there's no point in that. Uh, so that's important to note. I'm curious to see what Green Goblin thinks of this. That's one thing I'm very interested to know. Uh, we even saw towards like the ending of the trailer, we even saw MJ was basically falling off a building and Spider-Man was rushing at her, basically trying to catch her, which is a parallel straight out of Amazing Spider-Man 2. But if you remember, Gwen ends up dying. So I don't think MJ's gonna die in this. I really just hope she doesn't die like that. But I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. That's just my thing with that. Uh, but again, like that just seems like they're really trying to hint towards maybe a two Spider-Man type thing. That's really what I want to see. Uh, and again, we saw some new looks at some of the newer suits. I think right now we're at a total of four different Tom Holland suits in this movie. We got the Iron Spider suit, of course, that he's wearing in this poster. If you see that, we also know he's gonna be wearing his new kind of red and gold suit, which is pretty cool. He's also got that, I don't know what they call it, like the Sorcerer Supreme suit or the suit that's black, which is pretty cool as well. That looks to be some sort of magic suit. He's gonna be wearing, of course, that Far From Home suit I'm expecting, which is pretty cool. And plus, maybe I don't think he's gonna get another suit other than that, but I mean, who knows? Maybe. So yeah, that's gonna be very interesting to kind of see all these different suits. I hope they utilize it well, to say the least. I mean, I just hope they don't just like destroy all of a sudden, uh, destroy like that Far From Home suit, because I actually like that suit. That suit's pretty cool. But I don't know about the Iron Spider suit. I'm thinking it'll probably get destroyed. I think Doc Ock's gonna destroy it. He technically did destroy it, I think, in the trailer. So important to note with that. Uh, so yeah, we could see that. Uh, a lot of the trailer, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. A lot of the trailer shows a lot of like Peter struggling. So I think that's kind of important to note as well because, of course, when the Sinister Six are all trying to fight him at the same time, he usually fails. That's evident with whatever Spider-Man you really look at like that. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Spider-Man PS4. I don't care if it's Tobey Maguire. It's always going to be like that. So that's one thing especially to know, which I'm very curious to see what goes on. We could also see from the trailer as well that they're going to be playing a lot of multiverse elements. I think they're going to be doing that a lot in a lot of sorcery. So that's interesting to note as well. Uh, we also see some stuff like a lot of not Spider-Man per se, but we see a lot of like, for example, Happy Hogan's in there, and he's looking like very shocked. Same with May, but not shocked like, oh, Peter, Spider-Man, because they already knew that. I think they were shocked because like one of their villains are going after them or something. So I find that's pretty important to note. As well as I'm curious to see how the villains act as well. That's one thing as well. I'm very curious to see how certain characters like Sandman act. Because again, if you remember, Sandman didn't really have a grudge at the end of the movie. So that's one thing. The Lizard, same way. That's another thing. Electro, per se, I expect him to go like, I hate Spider-Man and stuff like that, and try and fight him and stuff like that. So that's pretty evident. But I'm very curious on how this is going to be. One thing important to note is it looks to be like at the end here, Doctor Strange is literally like, uh, Doctor Strange is literally like, I can't hold it anymore. They're coming through, and I'm curious technically to what he means by that. That's one thing I'm genuinely curious. Like, does that mean the two Spider-Man? I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean, or is he saying that before like all those villains come and stuff like that? So that's one thing I want to just say right off the bat there. Um, but I mean, this trailer definitely is a 10 out of 10 trailer. Uh, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see this. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.